I understand democracy as something that gives the weak the same chance as the strong. Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Myself Gaurav Kumar. With these inspirational lines of Mahatma Gandhi about democracy, let's start our discussion today on what is democracy and why democracy for class 9 Civics part 2. Topics for the discussion in today's class are as follows: what is democracy, essential features of democracy, broader meaning of democracy, difference between democratic and non-democratic government. So as today we are discussing about the features of democracy, essential features of democracy. So before that we just quickly go through this. What is democracy? We have discussed the definition of democracy in the last class. Democracy is basically a form of the government in which rulers are elected by citizens with the help of right to vote. So today we will start with the essential features of democracy. जहाँ जहाँ ये फीचर्स नहीं है इसका मतलब वो डेमोक्रेसी नहीं है. तो उन कंट्रियों के एग्जांपल को देखते हुए we will discuss about the essential features of democracy. First one is decisions are taken by the elected representatives only. Like the people who are elected through the elections, when people give them right to vote and give them power to rule the country, they only have power to take decisions on their behalf. इसका example we can take of like Pakistan. During the Pervez Musharraf rule, Pakistan was not an example of you can say it was not under the real democracy. Pervez Musharraf, he became the chief executive in 1919 after the military coup. So later on he declared himself as a president also. 2002 में he passed out a legal framework order in August 2002. उसने क्या किया कि the president now could dismiss the national or the provincial assemblies, and the work of the civilian cabinet was to be supervised by a national security council that is headed by military officers. And one more aspect was of that order was elections were to be held to the national and the state assemblies, but the final power rested with the military officers and General Musharraf, not with the elected representative. Next, we have free and fair electoral competition. So everybody should be free to contest election, and the entire process should be fair. Under this, we can take example of China and Mexico, and they are also not example of real democracy. Why? Because in China, the president of China is basically appointed by about 3,000 members of the National People's Congress. Fine, and only the members of the Chinese Communist Party or 8 smaller parties allied to it were allowed to contest elections. Other party is not allowed. So there is not free and fair electoral competition कि कोई भी party वहाँ पर आकर election नहीं लड़ती. Next we have rule of law and respect for rights. Here we will discuss the example of Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, President Mugabe was very popular, but he also used unfair practices to win the elections. Over the years, his government has changed the constitution several times to make the president more powerful and less accountable toward the citizens. And in the last previous video, we have discussed that this democratic government has to be accountable to the citizens. So now they are not much accountable to the citizens. तो क्या हुआ कि this is again not an example of real democracy. Now let's talk about one person, one vote and one value. Means everybody should have one vote and their vote should have equal value. But there are many examples in the world politics where the people are denial of this equal right of vote, that is one person, one vote and one value. We will see one by one. पहला एग्जाम्पल हमारा आता है सऊदी अरेबिया का. सऊदी अरेबिया में 2015 तक वुमेन डिड नॉट हैव द राइट टू वोट. तो मेल वर हैविंग द राइट टू वोट, वुमेन डू नॉट हैव द राइट टू वोट. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि वहां पर भी इक्वल वोटिंग राइट्स लोगों को नहीं दिया गया है. नेक्स्ट वी हैव एस्टोनिया. एस्टोनिया के अंदर जो लोग रशियन माइनॉरिटी के हैं उन लोगों को राइट टू वोट दिया ही नहीं जाता है या बहुत मुश्किल से दिया जाता है. तो यहाँ पे भी इक्वल वोटिंग राइट का डेमोक्रेटिक फीचर जो है वो फॉलो नहीं किया जाता. नेक्स्ट वी हैव एग्जांपल ऑफ फिजी. इन फिजी द वोट ऑफ एन इंडिजिनियस फिजी हैज मोर वैल्यू देन दैट ऑफ एन इंडियन फिजी. सो इट इज अगेंस्ट द, यू कैन से, वायलेशन ऑफ वन वोट वन पर्सन एंड वन वैल्यू. Now let's discuss about the broader meanings of democracy. Earlier we were discussing about the essential features of democracy. Essential features of democracy में हमने यही समझने की कोशिश की है कि अगर किसी देश को डेमोक्रेटिक होना है तो उसके अंदर ये सारे फीचर्स होने चाहिए. बाकी जो एग्जांपल हमने डिस्कस की हैं दैट वाज इन द नेगेटिव कॉन्टेक्स्ट कि वहां पर ये फीचर्स नहीं है, इसीलिए दैट दोज गवर्नमेंट्स आर नॉट एग्जांपल ऑफ रियल डेमोक्रेसी. चलो अब हम बात करते हैं ब्रॉडर मीनिंग ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. ब्रॉडर मीनिंग ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में सबसे पहले हम बात करते हैं रिप्रेजेंटेटिव डेमोक्रेसी की. दैट मोस्ट कॉमन फॉर्म ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी इज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव डेमोक्रेसी. तो अब हमें पता होना चाहिए कि रिप्रेजेंटेटिव डेमोक्रेसी क्या है. रिप्रेजेंटेटिव जैसे इसके नाम में लिखा हुआ है तो इसी से हम पता कर सकते हैं व्हाट इज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव डेमोक्रेसी. In representative democracy, people actually rule with the help of their elected representatives. Like you can say the majority of people rule through their elected representatives. अब हमें ये जानने की जरूरत है कि हम रिप्रेजेंटेटिव डेमोक्रेसी का इस्तेमाल क्यों करते हैं. वाई देयर इज लाइक सिस्टम ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव डेमोक्रेसी. इसके हम दो मेन कारण समझते हैं. सबसे पहला कि इतनी बड़ी पॉपुलेशन के लिए या जो बड़ी संख्या जब लोगों की होती है तो इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू फॉर द पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज और ऑल द मेंबर्स टू सिट टुगेदर एंड टेक अ डिसीजन. कितने सारे लोगों को हम कैसे एक साथ इकट्ठा करें और कैसे किसी निर्णय पर पहुंचा जाए. तो ये निर्णय हम लेने के लिए किसके ऊपर छोड़ देते हैं, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव अपने जिनको हमने इलेक्ट कर संसद में भेजा हुआ है. दूसरा हम कहते हैं कि अगर हम ये कोशिश कर भी ले कि हम इतने सारे लोगों को एक साथ लेने के लिए कोई सिस्टम बनाने की कोशिश करें, जैसे आज के टाइम में वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग या बहुत सारी चीजों के थ्रू हम इसकी हेल्प ले सकते हैं, तो सबसे ज्यादा परेशानी यहाँ आती है दैट सिटीजन्स डू नॉट हैव द टाइम एंड डिजायर और दे डू नॉट हैव द स्किल टू टेक पार्ट इन द decision making process. So these are the two reasons why we opt for representative democracy. Second aspect of this broader meaning of democracy is leaders are elected by the adult citizens. Means that people who are like 18 years of age and above that, they have right to vote, and with the help of right to vote they elect their representative. So तीसरा जो पॉइंट हम इसके अंदर इंपॉर्टेंट मानते हैं अंडर दिस कैटेगरी ऑफ ब्रॉडर मीनिंग ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी इज मेजॉरिटी इज अलाउड टू टेक डिसीजंस ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ द पीपल. जिस भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के पास मेजॉरिटी वोट्स होंगे दे आर गिवन द पावर बाय द सिटीजन टू टेक डिसीजन टू मेक लॉज इन द पार्लियामेंट. सो दे कैन टेक डिसीजंस, दे आर अलाउड टू टेक डिसीजन ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ द एंटायर पॉपुलेशन. नाउ let's compare the features of democratic and a non-democratic government. As in the previous video and by now in this video we have discussed about the arguments in the favor of the democracy or against the democracy and the essential features of the democracy. So after having idea about all of these, now we can easily compare a democratic government and a non-democratic government. So let's go through this slide very quickly. First, we can say that elected representative rule the country in a democratic government. Whereas in non-democratic government, people cannot choose their rulers as they are like ruled by king, monarch or queen. Then as a second point we can say citizens enjoy various freedoms in a democratic government, whereas in a non-democratic government people do not have any freedom. Decisions are taken by elected leaders as we have just discussed as an essential part of a essential feature of democracy. And in non-democratic government, the decisions are taken by dictator or monarch. We have discussed in detail the example of Pakistan. Then in democratic government, free and fair elections are there. In non-democratic government, सबसे पहले तो हम कहते हैं कि वहाँ elections होते ही नहीं है. But if elections are there, then lack of free and fair electoral competition, as we have discussed previously about China and Mexico. In democratic government, there is political equality. And one man, one vote and one value is preferred. But in non-democratic government, we have different examples or instances of denial of equal political right or political equality like Saudi Arabia and Fiji. We have just discussed. So now move forward. Some questions for assignment. Mention 3 instances of denial of equal rights to vote in the world politics. What do you understand by broader meaning of democracy? Explain, differentiate between democratic and a non-democratic government. Thank you.